Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Tavern. I'm your wonderful barkeep and host for the evening. And once again, we are back for 2024, and I'm excited to bring a old favorite back. He is a very talented artist, musician, creator of all sorts. Not to mention, he runs his own brewery, so it kind of was a perfectly good spot to bring him back to the tavern. But we let's see. Last time you were on here was what? Year and a half ago, 2 years almost.
Yeah, probably. It's been a while.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of find out what he's been doing since then. There's some new things that happened. I know at Gen Con. And I'm just gonna kind of let you. Oh God, here we go.
Gen Con.
Yep, he's so skilled with this stuff. It
Oh, yeah.
kills me.
Gen
But
Con. What?
what?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so Spencer, take it away. Who are you? Where can they
Yeah.
find
Well,
you?
my name is Spencer Stander. A lot of people know me as GM McLeod's. It's because for drunk people walking by game night at McLeod Ale in Van Nuys, California, if you're near Los Angeles, it's in Van Nuys. It's easier to remember the Game Master McLeod's because it's McLeod Ale. So that just became a thing, and we're still running game nights on Wednesdays. We're still doing, we're putting together another fundraiser for cat shelter. We're, all sorts of D&D adjacent fun stuff that we can get. I run big tournaments. We've done X-Wing tournaments. We've done, gosh, right now Catan of Southern California is meeting every third Wednesday. There's a lot of stuff going on besides D&D, but that brewery has definitely held my interest. So yeah, that's me, and I have been in Hollywood since the early '90s. I know I don't look it. I use plastic here. No, I'm just kidding. But I've been
That
involved with the
California
industry.
skills right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we produce TV and movies. Right now, I'm delivering a show, very funny comedy, to Paramount. So that's due on the 15th. So I'm under the gun, and I'm honored to be the first guest of 2024 on Tavern Talks.
Thank you.
That's super fun. So thanks for
Yeah.
hosting.
No, definitely. And some things you did last year that can tie kind of into the TTRPG community. I know you did. Come on, you're gonna have to run down them because
yeah,
I know you did a
yeah.
bunch.
Are we talking cons? Or are we talking? Well, the first thing that I'm super proud of, we ran Edge of the Empire. It's a Star Wars RPG. If you haven't played Edge of the Empire, it's the gritty version of Star Wars, and probably my most favorite dice system out there, because you roll for yourself and you roll against yourself with the same roll. So the GM in my case, I didn't have to roll anything the whole time, basically, which was amazing.
So all you're doing is just storytelling and whatnot, but you don't have to roll a thing.
Yeah, what's really cool about it is you can have a triumph and a disadvantage at the same time. So let's say you're using a force skill and you're trying to close a door. Well, you succeed at that, but if you rolled a bad die and then the door closes, but something was caught in it, and then it backfires, and like it opens another secret door next to it, or an alarm goes off, right? So the dice system is really cool in that, and we just had a blast, and we won Best Series awarded by Gen Con, so that was super fun, and that was 2023. So yeah, last year we won Best Series for it, and the Star Wars series is called Not Another New Hope, and it's hosted on our all of our platforms, which is RPG All Stars. Not hard to remember, RPG All Stars. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Insta, TikTok, anywhere. And so that series is definitely a hey, stop what you're doing and listen to series, because it's just packed with excellent actors. We had a couple of guest stars. We had Carlos Alazraqui. He was the voice of Rocco, Modern Rocco, but he's voiced everything from Planes. He was the El Chupacabra, and he was the Taco Bell dog for a while. The Yo quiero Taco Bell. He's just done so freaking much, and he was on Reno 911.
Okay.
So he's legitimately one of the best improvers on the planet. So to have him on the show with the other talent that I cultivated for it is incredible, and we had some really gifted people on that show. It's not your normal actual play. It's heightened, and it's all edited, of course, with special effects, because I'm in Hollywood. Yeah. So got a lot of that. So we are honored to take that award last year. And this year we're going to be out with a Starfinder series. Thank you to Paizo.
Okay.
It's going to be a short run series. It's 6 episodes. It's going to launch here pretty soon. They're 20 minutes. So we took 2 hours and compressed them into 20 minutes. And I'm working with, again, an all-star cast on that. And we're going to sweep awards. I'm entering that probably in 40 festivals. I'm just taking it legit. I'm going to tell a network like, hey, you're dumb not having this on your channel.
Yeah, just blowing it away. It's awesome.
It's really talent. By the way, we came up runner-up for best series with our Total Party Kill TPK, which is something you've been seeing out on our shorts. We were nominated best series, and the guy told me, he said, if you didn't submit your other one, you would have won it with this. I was like, oh shit, I should have waited. Oh well.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was an epic year with the cons and festivals and shows. I to be brutally honest, I've run out of steam a little bit. It's been 4 or 5 years of 2 to 3 hour episodes, and I just am out of the steam because I legitimately do the film, the audio, the editing, special effects.
When you're the one man wonder, man, it gets hard really quick.
It's old real quick. Yeah,
it's old real quick.
I'm stubborn. I stuck in there. So I don't know what's next. I mean, we have a few things in the can, but I'm trying to ask bigger questions like what could we do with Gary Con? What could we do as an official game show for Fan Roll Dice or something like that? Like we're asking the bigger questions right now.
No, those are big questions. Those are great questions too, because I know I'll be at Gary Con this year. I'll be at Gen Con this year. I'm going back to PAX Unplugged this year. Hopefully one of these will pick me up as a panel instead of me just going as a player. So I'm hoping we can get back to that.
Well, maybe we could join forces on that. I'm down. It's streamlined just because the YouTube channel does pretty well. So I always get. The problem with PAX is it's during LA Comic-Con, which is one of my favorites because I can draft all my actor director friends into doing stuff there. So one of these years I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna skip out of town.
Now you talking PAX East or PAX Unplugged?
PAX Unplugged. I guess it's in December, right?
Yeah. I just got back. It was the first weekend of December. Yeah, it was so much fun. There were so many creators there.
What'd you do? What was the highlights?
Tons of panels that were like friends of mine, people that have been on the show. There was a huge content creator get together.
Jimmy D. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and it was everybody. I mean, it was all the guys that have been on our show. There's multiple content creators that are massive on TikTok and Instagram. Jenny D was there. Jason Azevedo is there from Realmsmith. Kyle Shire, the director of Critical Role. Omega Jones. I mean, massive cast of people. Gabriel Hicks, Soul Initiative. I mean, the names just kept coming. Wow. But it was massive. The Start Playing Games did a huge mixer there, probably 300.
Acquisitions Inc. Did they do anything?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was my win for the year.
Yeah. You got into one of their shows?
So I didn't get into their show, but one of my good friends that was there painted all of their minis for their main their end of the night show with Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins. So Chris Perkins came out as Mordenkainen in the show.
Hysterical.
He had the mustache that kept falling off during the middle of the show. It was absolutely hysterical.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. But no, we got to go because he did all the painting. We got to go backstage and meet all of them. I've got pictures with everybody. Got a chance to talk to them. I've actually got. Come on, let's root for this. Yeah. I have a connection with Chris, so he's supposed to try to come on the show, but he's got to get the clearance from, WotC. So that would be pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like magic, you're gonna get it.
We're hoping. We're hoping for it. Yeah. So that'd be a big night to bring him on the show. Same with Jeremy Crawford.
Yeah.
Some of the cast there were willing and happy to come on. Actually, we got a sponsor from PAX Unplugged. So if you hear any of the music coming from the intro or behind the scenes right now, like as you're listening, that's all done by Emmeline Sterling. She's an up and coming artist, musician. She also is known. Her so that she does all of this as a side name. She's also a full-time musician and artist out of both LA and New York City. So
cool. I mean, why not?
Pretty
bi-coastal.
awesome.
Be
Yeah,
bi-coastal.
right. So, but no, she's incredible. But she offered these two songs up to be allowed to be played on the show. So that was pretty awesome to work with her on that. So
there's a guy that places a lot of music in TV and films out here. Leaving Richmond's his name. If you ever want some really cool tracks to add, like he's giving me his whole library for free. Like, okay.
Oh wow, yeah. No,
okay.
we'd love to. Like I said, I guess the big thing for Misfits this year though is that I'll actually be running a show on Monday nights that isn't going to be on the Misfits.
What's that
gonna be? Monday nights at 9 p.m. I'll be running over at Gen Con's channel for the next potentially 6 months to a year. We'll see how far we can go through with it, but it's going to be Icewind Dale. It's going to be the Dress to Quest team. So it's Eric Wahlberg.
So you're taking over. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm taking over as the GM for that one. So
let me know if you need a guest player.
Oh yeah, I'm lining up guests like crazy right now for that show. It's awesome. So, but love to have you. Love to have.
We've been talking with Eric. He's such a nice guy.
Oh my goodness, I love Eric.
Super helpful.
He reached out to me about August of last year and was like, "Hey, our GM stepping down. I ran your name past Peter. Peter's excited to have you on board." And I was kind of like in tears going, "There's no way in hell."
Well, it's great because they have the technical stuff on their end. So all you do is show up in GM.
Yep. All I do is show up in GM, very much like this show, because I have a tech guy that sits in the background now, which is fantastic.
And who is that tech guy to give him some kudos?
Oh, I give Eric credit every week. So
Eric gets credit. Yeah, you got to do it.
Eric is fantastic. He is our tech for all of our shows before and up to this point. And he was originally a cast member for our original live play. And then Sunday nights gets late. So he was draining quickly. And I understand that completely. So he stepped up as the tech guy and helped us out with everything on that. So,
well, dude, congrats on the quest to Dress.
Yeah, Dress to Quest is going to be that launches on the 15th of this month, and it's every Monday night, so it'll be
super cool,
exciting. So.
Yeah, I know he got busy with his TikTok channel.
Yeah, Dungeons.
The jokes are going well.
Dad Jokes and Dragons. That's it. I know it's one of them, but it's like Dungeons and Dragons or Dad Notes and Dragons. One of the two. I can't remember. But yeah. So, Arc definitely, man. Arclight Court. There's another one. If you want some fun person to play with, Arclight is awesome. He runs all, I wouldn't say he runs all, but right now his big thing is Power Rangers. And with you being out there in Hollywood, this would be perfect to connect you to.
You mean he's running an RPG version?
Yes. So he is one of the, I believe, he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's actually one of the only few sponsored RPGs creators for Power Rangers from Renegade Games. So
wow, super cool, man.
He's awesome. Definitely check him out. But yeah,
I'm always in need of. Well, I used to always be in need of guests who were interesting. As a matter of fact, Loaded Dice Roller Season 3 had a guest every episode. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was hoping to come join you with that, but I know your guest line for that one was just stacked.
Tough. Yeah, it was stacked. Stacked. Like I wanted to get Stefan over at Dormforge on. I just couldn't get, I was just packed, and the players I had were incredible. So I couldn't say no. And then at some point I just had to. These shows are a lot of work, man. When you
goodness, I know.
They're a ton
not
of
just
work streaming live, but if you're editing them and you're it's crazy. And technically we're almost there. Like there's a lot of weird stuff that happens. Like the delay in the roadcaster compared to online, and it's just to really get it right, it's been tough. But it's made me a ninja in post. I'll say that. I mean, I was good before, but now I'm fast.
I'm now I'm fast. Yeah. And you and I are gonna have to talk after some time.
One thing we didn't do was have our yearly. This could be an annual thing, like where we roll for the prediction of the year. And here's my prediction starting out with something. I still do not have my Pixel dice from their Kickstarter.
Oh,
So
goodness gracious.
I'm not plugged into a USB that can actually show you. Actually, what I can do is
Yep, move the camera down and roll the dice.
It's so blurry.
No.
Oh no, 20. No, just kidding. Let's see if we can get. Can it get focus? I don't know.
Focus? Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Oh
Oh
my
no,
God.
there's no focus on that one at all.
It's up here.
Oh,
There we go.
It was
12.
12.
It's
okay.
a 12.
It's above a 10. I mean,
you know that
we gotta take our.
10, if the DC is 10, I've made
DC's
it.
10, you made it.
Yeah.
DC was 15. You're in trouble.
Yeah, well, maybe there's some kind of bonus I could get, right, James?
That's true. Yeah. If you were a character of some sort, you'd have at least a +2 bonus, if not more, based on your race and class. So, yeah.
See, it's tough when you're up against a good G. That's still a fail. Is that what you're saying?
No, it sounds like it's actually a pass to me. I mean,
Oh.
so 12 is usually pretty solid. So.
Charisma bonus. We'll add it in there. Why not?
Oh, your charisma bonus? Well, then you blew it out of the water because
Did I? Even for an older
that
guy?
+4.
Yeah, +4. We're always trying to do that. I'm going to be running a short series based on real life checks, which is
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, because we always try. There used to be at Gen Con like 25 years ago, there was a way to get your stats for you. Like your strength is probably like what, a 17? I mean, you're a pretty strong
probably
guy,
16,
right?
yeah,
16, 17?
Yeah.
I mean, if Schwarzenegger's a 24, right? If he's maxed out human strength, right? Then
yeah. I mean, I would think. I mean, it depends on which D&D you're playing too, because a maxed out human is only 20. You can't be any higher than 20.
Right. That's right.
So I'd be like, if he's a 20, I'm a 14. Like, I'm not going anywhere near that. So
that is true. I never thought about that. Yeah, we play a lot of Pathfinder. I thought the limit in D&D 5 was because I activated a Frost Giant strength potion and it wouldn't let me above a certain stat score, and I was like, why is that? Is it cheating me?
Anything past 20 has to be done with magic only in D&D.
Right, but there's a max to that too, right?
There's a what?
There's a maximum to that as well too.
I don't know if there's a.
I think if you're a certain size creature, there's a max to every stat.
There probably is. I'd have to look that roll up. So.
The only way I can play all these games is with Hero Lab because it doesn't let me cheat. And so I was playing with Chris, another friend. He was DMing a great campaign, and it was an E5, and he I was like, dude, I drank this Frost Giant potion, but I already had an 18 strength. Yeah. So like, it only boosted me a couple, and I was like, what the hell's up with that? He's like, oh, I'll just let it. And I go, no, if Hero Lab's saying I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. So I stuck to those guns, and then later found out that it's limitation of your size. It's limited, which I like. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah, so the potion of giant strength, I'm going to Google
it's
that.
Like +6 or 8, I forget.
Yeah, so it depends on the type of giant too.
Frost Giant.
Yeah, is Frost the highest? That's Storm Giant. Storm Giant's the highest.
Yeah.
So Frost Giant is 23. That's the max you can be as a Storm Giant. So the thing is when you take the potion, it automatically changes that strength size. So it doesn't add to the strength that you already have. It just automatically changes you to 23.
Right.
So
boom.
Yeah. But if you do Storm Giant is 29. That's the full max.
Dude, epic.
Yeah.
That's a small guy, big package.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
But
it's been a while. We're finishing right now just for fun. You know, I play every Wednesday some kind of game, just because we're all the same, you listeners out there, and we gotta play. I mean, we
gotta play. Like I said, I missed it for so many months. It was starting to eat at me.
I don't know how you do it.
Lots and lots of trouble in real life is what it was.
Yeah.
Lots of transition, lots of changes in life. I was still playing on occasion with friends, but I wasn't GMing. And last night was my first time picking back up the GM mantle for months.
Wow.
And then this is my home game, so it's 8 players now. It was 7 as of last night. It'll be 8 tonight, or starting next in 2 weeks. So we're doing every other week.
In person or digital?
So it's all digital. All my friends are all over the United States now. It kills me to not have that opportunity, but
I'm LA has a lot of people that are playing, but I completely I just prefer in person if
Yeah.
feasible at all. And I've actually had, I've got pretty good production gear, some very good, sessions where we had someone digital.
Hmm.
But man, making that happen is just so rough.
It is. Yeah. We do a
I
lot of
feel bad.
we do a lot of 2D, 2D maps, things like that.
Mhm.
This year though, because like I said
Uh-oh.
before, I am getting divorced. So my divorce present to myself was the latest Kickstarter from Dwarven Forge. So
Oh,
that's coming in I think
damn.
February.
Nice job.
Yeah, so that was a nice chunk of change because that was
Oh, I know. I've funded them before.
well, that was not even their like main Kickstarter. That was they reproduced the wildlands and mountains.
Oh, wow.
And they had a mega set out there, and I was like, that's the one I was gonna buy today. It's like
Dude,
48. It's 48 inches by 48 inches. So we'll
I
see
get
how
addicted
much I
to
can pull up
building
into
my own
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So for people out there that this might be a great thing to talk about. So like, what are you using to build most of your
so
stuff?
the caravans that are out by WizKids are way too freaking small to
Yeah.
actually play in. So I've built like circus caravans
Yeah.
from scratch. It's literally everything from scratch. And I
Okay.
love these kind of things. So, I own a lot of popsicles and stuff like that, popsicle sticks. These are coffee, wooden sticks right there.
Yeah.
And then this is a matchbook. And then
Okay.
this is something I got at a doll shop.
Okay.
They actually, I'm sorry, it's a hobby shop, but they have
For like doll houses.
dollhouses.
And, yeah.
So something this thin, like you're gonna have to split it yourself. Or what I really recommend is just cutting it out of paper, like thick cardboard, and putting it on there and painting it differently. Because, although it's wood, this is super sturdy and cool.
Yeah.
And then, you find like, I don't know, that's a piece of jewelry and
Yeah,
obviously
no,
this
I
is
mean it looks legit. Like I'm not gonna lie.
nails. And then this is I don't know how I got this idea. These are PVC or pipe
Yeah.
that I cut
Oh, you
super
just
thin.
cut super thin and then
And
made them
then
into wheels.
I made the spokes and put it around a
There you go.
thing and just I mean,
So how
legit.
long did you say that took you to make that one?
put it on
That
a flock.
what do you think?
You know what? I lose. This is where I really lose.
You lose your
myself.
time, right?
Yeah, because it's just meditation for me. I just
Okay.
I love art. I've had a gallery show downtown LA, sold some art.
Nice.
And I just this is really where the money's at for me. And none of it's 3D printed, but if you got a 3D printer, holy shit, you could do.
Oh yeah. So
But there's
if
some charm to this versus 3D printing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
there's
definitely
some love to
antiquity
that
is-
one.
Yeah, there's a bonus. But yeah, 3D. I think if you can 3D print like windows, stuff like that. Here, I'll share your comment now. I'm gonna get something. I'll bring it right back. But share your comment.
Oh
You're gonna
yeah,
say
so we at Gen Con we have GUI Cube, which is the company I run for. They actually do an entire carnival, and we've 3D printed I don't know how many carts, and they can fit anywhere between 2 and 4 people per cart. So that was when you showed those. But I can see the difference though. Like you can see the little intricacies of
the homebrew.
the homebrew.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
The idea might be though is to get the model, like build the model out of 3D printing, and then put the sticks over top of it so that you have everything built already and
100%. You have to, in my opinion,
texture and
3D is like for the wheels. Like if you print there's certain things on that thing I would say definitely don't try and do. Just 3D print it.
the wheels. Wheels are such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, roof materials is something else. But like for I have like a dozen or two of these.
Yeah.
For just these are super easy. Sorry, I froze there.
You're good.
But, like I found some. I made these out of clay in little pots.
Yeah.
And there's also like I have a whole market that I've made. So I
That's
love
awesome.
Dwarven Forge, but I love building stuff. And then, dude, this is the biggest find. Right now at Michael's, they're selling these for like $4 or $5. And I've taken 6 of these and converted them into houses. And they're I mean, just putting together the windows
Yeah.
and the box is a pain in the butt.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you keep talking because I'm gonna go grab one that's in
It's already
process, and then
Okay.
one that's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So keep them entertained for a second.
Oh, I got you.
Should we add music? I don't know. What do we need?
There
We need
should be
applause.
some music, but
Let's
it's
do
not that loud
applause.
music, that's for sure.
Let's do applause. There, James going to take the show. Do it.
Yeah, so we're definitely looking at some really cool ideas here. Like I said, for people who have been questioning, like, how do they build the minis and how do you build terrain? Very simple materials. We've had a couple different people on our show about stuff like this, though. Let me browse through the chat real fast. Oh, Missed Arc leaving. Sorry, buddy. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, no, I agree with both Chelsea and Miss. Both of you agree with that. Like I said, it's a labor of love. You know, it's different from what you would get normally from a 3D printer. Adding those little intricacies and those details definitely bring out a little bit more out of those pieces. But a lot of people don't have that kind of time. Like, I hate to say that, but there's a lot of people that just don't have the time to do that kind of stuff.
I'm almost there. Keep going.
Oh, you're good. I'm just going through the chat. But let's see here. I also miss playing with you as well. Hopefully, we'll have the game back here in the next couple weeks. Ray's just got to take care of himself and his life going on right now. So you guys have any questions for us while we're sitting in here chatting? And you can always ask anything in the chat room. I'm willing to share my life story if it need be, but you know. One thing I know I'm going to be bugging him about sooner or later is how he brings the production value of this from a stream show or a semi-professional show to where he's going now. So that's the next step I want to ask you once you show me off your awesome
need to
stuff.
catch up with what you just said, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share a couple techniques for people.
Sure.
Remember, we began with
Just a
simple thing from Michael's for and boxes. By the way, this is a completed one. By the way, not a Michael's one, but this is just sort of a generic house. But the really cool thing about this set is that this is slate from the Alps. So when I was in the Alps, I found slate. I was like, dude, that's awesome because that's what they do for the roofs there. So I just made it happen. This probably isn't actually the best one, but I do love these.
Yeah.
And then back to the Michaels. So here was an attempt just to make my wife happy at for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So,
you're building the little Christmas villages?
Yeah. So I there's a set of 3 of these. They look different, but I was just using the same model. So anyway, I took that Michaels thing and I sort of just painted it, right? And then I've got this epoxy. Well, it's not epoxy. It's actually a thickener. It's a paint thickener.
Okay.
And I kind of rubbed that into the windows for the snow effect. And then for the roofs are the toughest. I used that thickener. Yeah, and then gave it a texture. So this is what a single coat of a solid gray plus a where you take black and you water it down. You just kind of let it drip down and dry.
Oh, the wash. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a wash, and then you take like a light color, and you just sort of lightly brush it on top, and that's what brings that texture out. So anyway, these are super cool. They have lights. So,
oh wow,
dude, you got to get. I'm telling you, got to go to Michael. And here's these will be my next iterations of these. So what I've done is I enhanced. This is not done. This is work. So I've enhanced all the windows. I've made like awnings and
the shutter. The shutter awning, and
I brought them out. And by the way, if you want good windows, have you ever gone to the store and gotten a garlic in a bag, like a netted bag?
Yeah.
You could take that net, cut it straight, right, and spray paint it black, and put it behind cutout windows. It looks freaking phenomenal.
Okay.
It's you got to do it. Like
Interesting.
I did on this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's
okay. Yeah.
So anyway, I made a door, and this is going to turn out really well. And I kind of experimented more with that
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 thickener.
texture.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna love it, to be honest. I may go back to I may go to Slate on these, but added some wood. You know, just
No, those are great. Actually, with us going to Icewind Dale this year, there's a lot of those little houses that look like that. I'd have to beat them up a little bit, kind of, yeah, more to that
there's
level.
the window.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. Oh, so it kind of gives the stained glass type
Yeah.
look to it, like
Yeah,
the
it's
old
so
school.
cool. Yep.
That's really neat.
And then you'll notice a little gloss on this. That's Mod Podge. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, it will dull your colors, but it gives it more durability. And for some reason, just kind of collages the whole thing into something.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I don't hate.
There are some techniques out there, and just some different types of materials that can be used in those types of ways. It's fantastic. What is that? Oh, that's a tower.
This is Wizard Tower, and believe it or not, this is just foam core.
Okay.
And I've carved in the the rocks with a
So
pencil.
many hours of just carving.
Oh, it's meditative. It's
Yeah,
so meditative.
Are you just using a heat gun or not a heat gun?
Just a normal pen, but
Oh,
it
just
has
normal
to have a
pen.
lot of ink in it. And I like black
Okay.
pens because when you go to color it, the black helps the depth of the rock. But like this has a top. But I didn't find I actually made the roof out of cardboard, which is interesting in this one. But you know, like it has its thing that sits here, and then it has an epic top around
Right.
for the ceiling. Anyway, I love Dwarven Forge, but I love building my own stuff.
Yeah. So one
cities.
of the people in the chat actually asked, "What's your favorite miniature you've made or terrain you've made?"
Well, miniature wise, they don't have huge stone or chain golems, and these guys were going through this thing where they were hitting protein devils. This is Pathfinder lore, but
Okay.
Are they in D&D too?
Paragon
torture
levels is
devils?
what they were called back in third edition. I mean, I don't think they have them in fifth
Yeah.
anymore.
These are like Hellraiser devils, where they like to torture themselves, mutilate themselves.
Oh my.
I'm just talking about this guy because I have him here, but I built a ton. So
Oh wow.
yeah, this is a pretty simple build, but pulling this guy out, throwing him on the table is like terrifying, you know?
Oh yeah, it looks terrifying.
Yeah, it didn't take that long, to be honest, but he just made of metal, and he's a golem. His chains are just
Covered
So
in
anyway.
chains and whatnot. That's
I think somebody peed the table when I brought that out. Yeah.
oh yeah. That's
True
like the
story.
one day where you those are those types of minis you purchase or you make, and then you can only use them like once, because otherwise the awe factor goes away. Like I really do want to buy the like $460 Tiamat so I can drop that on the table once
I
and
have a
just
friend
watch
that
my players
bought it.
cry.
You better believe I'm going to borrow it from him. I'm not buying, but I made him a portal for it. So
That'd
another
be great.
cool thing, another really cool advance that if anybody is looking to enhance their tabletop is these things have exploded. So this is for $100 or something,
Yeah.
you can get a miniature smoke machine. Now the secret with it is the mixture that you use for the smoke. And you can find that online, like how to make it heavier. Like obviously this one's rising, so I put too much glycol in it or something, I forget.
Right.
But smoke will really enhance your table, like when you're playing in person. And I have these things tubed in to the table. If you watch the channel, you probably see some of this, a lot more of it coming up. But yeah, smoke.
That's awesome. That's a nice little trick there too, like I said. I mean,
Well, and it used to be like freaking $1,400 for a machine this size. Like, I don't know what they did to crack it, but everybody has these out now. And like, I would say just get them for your table.
yeah.
You know?
No, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Anyway.
Not to mention, I'm sure if you can Google it, but I'm sure you can change colors and all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
With that, so
You know, my productions always have lots of colors and stuff.
Your
floating on the
productions,
table.
that's the one thing I really am excited to talk about. Like I said, if we can talk about anything tonight, my idea is like, how do you level up from a stream game or a home game to the production value that has become, RPG All Stars? Like,
Hey,
what
man,
are
thanks for
you?
that.
What are
Yeah.
some of the techniques that you're using, or the tools you're using to bring that extra to life.
Well, I will say the technology is almost there. It's not perfect.
Right.
For example, I had a camera system. It was basically these EX Sony cameras that are 4K, and they transmit HDMI in real time. But they lack the quality of a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. But they're so easy to use. Like at Gen Con, we filmed everything, and you only have an hour to set up. So I had to set up 8 mics, podcasting thing, and then I'd have to set up the cameras, and then the game. And when I had projectors and lights, and just like I project scenes and stuff. So to get that done in that amount of time, you really need a camera that you can move quickly with. I recommend looking at web-based cameras. Like this is a Razer camera. It's super small. It's pretty decent quality. It's like maybe 150, $200.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like I said, because this year's goal is to up some of the product value for the stream and whatnot. Yeah. It's like I can see the difference from your screen to my screen. Like the pixelation's a lot worse on my end, but I've got to upgrade this camera.
This one still has like a 16 frames a second, I think, or something. It's got a little delay, so it's not ideal. Those Sonys were perfect. So what I'm saying is that the DSLR look that everybody's after, along with the ease of use of something like an EX camera, because you can basically set it on all auto, isn't quite there yet. But I think it's getting there.
It's getting there, right?
For a cheap alternative, like there are excellent web cameras. You don't need that DSLR anymore to get a great. Like I wouldn't sell this out for Panasonic camera. It's difficult to use Panasonic, and there's delay, so it makes these types of things impossible, because you can imagine a second delay. Zoom worked really hard on getting rid of the delay, and
they
adding
did
it back with the camera flow. Plus your audio is going through maybe something different, so it's like, oh geez. So to get it right, talk to a friend that has really good production skills, I think, and then a lot of investigating on. Maybe I should do a series on like what we do to produce stuff.
I think
it's different than.
I think it'd be worth it.
Critical Role has 30 people on staff. I mean,
exactly.
And I honestly, I don't think they look like if I had 30 people on staff. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt and Sam, but I would kick ass with that look and like, just the space. Like it would just be completely blown away.
Oh yeah.
Elevated. So.
No, and I mean that's the big thing, right? You have to have the space, you have to have the time, you have to have the people.
Yeah.
Or
still, I'm fixing a show right now. I'm not going to name it, but I'm producing a show only because it ran into problems, because the DP didn't light things correctly, the director didn't. I'm talking Hollywood people.
Yeah.
In the mix there was some weird stuff. Like it's supposed to sound like a cell phone, but it doesn't. Just. Like these are complete professionals. And they've blown it in so many areas. Like I hate to say that, but so just if you're doing production and you've had a setback, just take it as a learning. Feel free to fail. In other words, and fail a lot. Fail quickly. I sold those Sony cameras to Miniature Market. By the way, they're having a blast with them. My entire set, because I wanted to elevate what we're doing. And since we don't stream, I don't care about the delay necessarily. But I'll be honest, the delay between great cameras and plugging them into an HDMI and having them stream live is a big issue for me. And I've been looking for some kind of solution for that. And I know we're right around the corner from it. I mean, I shot on a 12K camera the other week. 12K, 12.
Yeah.
Like what? Why? Why?
But
you can't stream live? Like what?
Yeah,
what's up with that?
Right.
I mean, I suppose there are some like black magics and stuff, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's got to get cheaper and it's got to get better. And I think that's all coming. So.
But we're seeing a lot of production coming out of small time streamers that are doing some amazing things with the cameras that we have. It's impressive.
Big time. And if you're using Zoom, like we're using Zoom right now, like Zoom's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
But I use something called Riverside, and let me tell you, the capturing on that's phenomenal. Like it's quality, because what it does is it captures locally and feeds it up. So it doesn't have to stream it And it's just way better. And if there's dropouts, there really aren't dropouts because it's recording locally and then sending it up later. But I have noticed Riverside, and I've complained to them about this. If you've got over 5 feeds, there's a delay, and it's weird. Somebody
and you're gonna have 5, especially for an online game. You're gonna have over 5 feeds because you got to push everybody separately.
So somebody's going to drift in time, and if you're putting it in the post, it's freaking it's just hair pulling crap.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I hate this. It's partially why I'm burnt on doing the long form stuff, but like I said, we have one last series coming out, and we'll see what we can do with it. I'm talking to Paizo's giving me the right to run with Starfinder, the series.
Right.
This is a television series, and this is a Starfinder series that I'm launching, and it's not the same story that we'll tell in the scripted, but who's to say where these worlds don't merge, right?
Right.
We're on the precipice of AI being able to animate. I'm curious. I'm using mostly voice actors in this current show. Can I get AI to animate the whole freaking thing?
That's crazy.
That's around the corner, dude. Like 2 more years. It's going to be around the corner. You can already do 3-second clips, but consistency is the worst problem there.
Right.
Saying this is what this character looks like. Here's his voice. Make him always look like this. You just can't do it yet.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So how do you feel about because I know that's a huge controversy right now in production. AI?
Not a controversy to me. It's just something that's happening, and it might kill us. I don't know where it leads, but the one I have started a Facebook group. It's gotten really popular. It's TTRPG resources for AI resources. Yeah, TTRPG AI resources.
I think.
Yeah, it's grown really fast. So, and it's not for sale. Nothing's for sale in there. Like, it's just for people to borrow or get ideas.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, I think, the nature of AI. I think that's what's great about it. What's bad about it is, like Mickey Mouse with Steamboat Willie just got released in the public domain.
Yeah.
I could generate whatever I want with that. Somebody announced a horror film with it the other day. They also did Winnie the Pooh when it became public, and that movie is, I'm sorry if you're listening, you made it. Frankly, I couldn't make it through it. It's so bad, but just because of the name, I had to see it. It was like, oh my God, what'd they do? So they're doing it again with Steamboat. So who's to say I couldn't take that into AI and do something with it for personal use?
Right.
That's completely fine. The problem is when, somebody like Disney can lose all their animators because they can do it too.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to see that kind of stuff. But Google laid off 30,000 people in marketing because their AI is better than people. That was announced 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's scary.
So, the writing's on the wall, and it's one of those things where if you're just a ostrich with your head in the ground, buried in the sand, you pretending like it's not going to happen. It's happening. I mean, I heard the Biden administration put some limits on AI, which was really good. They need to do way more of that.
Yeah.
Type of thing, our governments.
Well, I think at this point, it's more of the AI system itself is pulling data from things that don't need to be pulled from. I think there needs to be some sort of way to block that feed. I know it's very hard.
From stealing from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Adobe did it right. I was questioning why they had purchased all their photographs and videos for stock libraries over the past couple of years. I don't even know if they knew why they were doing it, but
it definitely paid it off.
All their generative material is off their stuff.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I can't fault them for that.
Right, because it's their stuff, right? And if you're buying into it, then you're buying into their quality, and this is all you're getting. I think it's some of the new ones that are coming out that are very dangerous on the fact of like where they're pulling from, because they're just pulling from anything.
Yeah.
And public domain is one thing, but public domain without any restriction is terrifying, in my opinion.
Because if you're a modern artist, I have a cousin that is, and somebody's just knocking you left and right. That's not fair.
No, it's not. I do think, however, and I know some of my friends are they're concept artists, and they're finding ways to use this stuff. It's incredible because
they're lightning fast now. Yeah,
they'll take a basic model, and then they'll go in and they'll adapt it to whatever they need it to be. And I'm like, wow, that's like insane fast.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the future. I think inevitably, if you're great at Photoshop, you want create images, and you can do AI, you're a winner. I think
AI, as long as you can utilize it as part of your process instead of just the process, I think it's going to be a lot better.
I don't want to preach to everybody about it, but yeah, you know.
No, because I mean, it is a
it's
you know,
right
a lot of
right
people
here.
are looking at it as why is it here? Where is it going? That kind of
AI
thing.
DMs, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we could be replaced.
That to me terrifying.
Roll
Because of
initiative.
the yeah, right. I mean, I saw D&D Beyond was trying to think about doing it for AI GMing.
Right.
I think at that point though, like it's not gonna be the same.
Right.
Especially in a game that's collaborative. That's my biggest theory on it. It's like we're gonna kill the game master. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it's just more game master guidance. I don't know.
Now that wouldn't be a bad. Like I said, if it's curated and you can utilize it and make it work for you.
The other night, I had to come up with a speech on the fly. This was actually a few weeks ago, and I wanted to make it really heartfelt.
Yeah.
And so
ChatGPT'd it.
I literally ChatGPT'd it, and then I read it, you know, to everybody, and like it was really thoughtful and provocative. It was an incredible moment. Like so things like that. And that was homebrewed, so I had to kind of go with it, you know.
Right. But yeah, no, you're right.
Plus, maybe AI can just play, you know, sound effects when somebody gets slaughtered.
Now that would be useful because it's things that you just don't have time for, you're not thinking about. But if it could catch words and be like, "Oh, hey,
you hit,"
you know? Yeah, you don't have to do that no more.
Yeah.
So
that's fun. Yeah, and one other thing that leads into that is, you know, I'm working on Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I think it's a love letter to D&D or Pathfinder or whatever you play. We probably won't get the rights from Hasbro to say anything D&D, so you know, we're gonna probably go TTRPG with references. But basically, it's a love letter to D&D, and it's a straight up just freaking horror flick. So I love horror films. I'm obsessed with them. So it's basically Hellraiser meets Saw.
Okay.
And so it's, you know, you got the Hellraiser, you have this item, right, that is cursed or whatever, has this legend. And then kind of like that horror movie this year with that hand. Did you see that one?
I didn't.
Oh my God, it was terrifying. These kids found a hand, and as long as you say let me in is what it's called.
Oh, good.
So I love horror-based things around an
object. There's a new one that I saw just like a couple weeks ago in movie theater, just the premiere of it, and I was like, nope, not watching it.
Can't see it. Yeah.
No, Imaginary. That's the one.
Oh
no. I have enough issues with like animals coming, like teddy bears and stuff like. No, can't do it.
My friend directed.
I have enough little like trinkets and stuff are all around my room.
You don't need getting up and walking around.
Yeah, no. No, we're not doing that.
My friend did Pray for the Devil earlier this year, which was a big hit last year. Pray for the Devil with Lionsgate, and so it led me to Devils Die. That's the name of our film, Devils Die. I thought, Pray for the Devil, Devils Die. Okay, it's good play on words. What is Devils Die?
Right.
You know, if you're a role player, you go, oh, it's Devil's Dice, right?
Yeah.
But to somebody on the outside, Devils Die. Are they killing devils?
Right.
So, you know, it's got a great title. So many people are excited about it. There's three financiers that are just kind of like, this is the problem with Hollywood. They mill around with it. Once one's committed, they're all going to want in. I know it. And I'm going to be like, no, it's already done. But yeah, we're definitely shooting that this year, and the script is taking shape. I'm just really looking forward to doing it. We're talking to Matt Mercer. He's in some of my friends' movies, Mythicus. Have you ever seen any of the Mythica movies?
Mm-hmm.
So McLean Nelson and Adam Johnson, they've done 5, and I think Mattson, he's in at least 1, but I want to say he might be in all of them.
Right.
He plays like a evil sorcerer dude.
Okay.
Pretty funny.
I could see it.
But in this one, legitimately, his role is epic, and he's already got notion of it. So he said he liked it. So I'm just keeping fingers crossed that
that'd be cool.
Be bored enough to come be involved with it. You know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the guy's just doing all sorts of things at this point. He's still voice acting consistently. I mean, plus he's running the
recipes.
Recipes.
Yeah. I actually heard the Critical Role numbers were kind of fading
I season 3 has taken a big hit. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because of the story, if that's because of just attrition, if that's because they spread themselves too thin. Like there's a lot of reasons that people have talked about why it's starting to fade. But not to mention their two biggest stories are now becoming animated. So I mean they've got that too that's pushing. Yeah. So they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're just going to have to decide on how they want to navigate that process.
I'm gonna say it's because they don't get Gus GMs in there, like Gus James.
Yeah, that's
Is that it? That's
yeah, it's definitely it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have it here on tabletop.
Yeah. We need to guest GM over there. You know.
Yeah. Watch the numbers soar. Just yeah.
So, like I said,
just have Matt stand behind you and do this, every
every time he wants something good, he's like, "Yes, cool, that one worked." Otherwise,
I actually met with Gene Simmons. This is a funny side story. So I go over to Gene Simmons' house. I love Kiss growing up, by the way.
Yeah,
and it was like my friend's like, "Hey, Gene wants to talk to you about a show." I was in development in reality for a long time. And so I'm over at Gene's house, where they film him in that hall. It's like an office, but it's a hall of all his shit.
Oh yeah,
like the video games and like everything's in there, the Kiss whatever. And he sits behind his desk, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is the worst advice I've ever gotten in negotiation, is to go to somebody else's throne, basically, where they operate. Like that's right. You're totally off vantage if you're negotiating. So
your hometown advantage is dead.
Yeah. Done. So I go in there and Gene kicks back on his desk, and I'm like, okay, so what's the idea? What are we working with, guys? And he goes, well, picture a gladiator stadium. And I said, oh, that's cool. You got me there. And he goes, and there's a stage, and there's a band on it, and they're playing covers, and I'm sitting on a throne in the back, and I'm thinking, okay, all right. And he goes, and to the band, I'm either giving them this or I'm giving them this. And I was like, so the whole concept is you approving or disapproving of
the band?
It's like American Idol, but of bands, but you do it in the Gladiator Stadium. He's like, yes. And I go, oh, okay, let me think about that one. I don't know. But I'd love to see Mercer behind you the whole time.
Yeah. No.
Good choice.
Bad.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I'm trying to remember the movie, but it's like, you chose poorly. Like, just randomly, the guy.
You chose poorly.
Like, oh, darn. But I truthfully, I think it is a group of things, right? Because I tell people all the time, D&D or tabletop RPGs in general, you've got this very small knit group of high level, high production connections that people have made, and then there's this massive bubble right now, which is everybody else,
right?
And they're doing so much in the world right now, and they're doing so much so fast that it's starting to pull away from that look. I mean, I have friends of mine that TikTok, like superstars right now, that are over, they're going to Gen Con running full-time live shows just as big as some of these ones that they're running at Critical Role this year.
Jenny D, right?
Yeah, Jenny D, Dice Cream Sandwich ran a whole crew this year with their stuff.
By the way, what do you think of Jenny D in our movie, being the devilish game master, who starts out very innocent? What do you think about
I could so see it. I could so see it.
I could see it. But do you think she could pull off the role? I just throw that out there. I don't know.
I don't know, because she is very, like, I met her at PAX Unplugged. Okay. She's very soft-spoken, very personable. I don't know if she could flip the switch that easily to like the devilish.
It takes some acting chops.
I have some friends of mine though that have been to D&D in a castle, and I'd be curious to see what her games are like there, because that's at a high level, like, experience, right? Like you wonder how dedicated and like deep dark things you could bring up and things like that, or does she play the normal, the much more heroic style game? I don't know how her game style is. So when she's running games,
I've heard I'm cruel and
yeah, same.
Just run for the hills.
Yeah, same. We had a conversation last night, and for people who have watched our show for the last couple years, and I didn't realize that I had put like one of these like big like triggers for people on like the second episode of my first show on stream. And I was like, because it was almost it was
spiders.
No, so it was like domestic abuse.
Violence.
Almost to the like it was so bad because there we
It
were
was like Dobby on
like it was almost to the point, like I know this is gonna sound really bad, it's almost like sexual assault. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what was I thinking?
Oh yeah,
But I was trying to go extremely dark because we were running in Gooey Cube's world and they're a very dark and brooding area, and the character was a gentleman who felt like he had control of everything, and then his wife was the equivalency of like a tiefling. So she was an outcast already, and he was trying to keep her under control. And Eric, who's our tech guy, decides that this lady's being abused and walks up and punches this dude straight in the nose. And that was the beginning of our game. Like it was so and everybody's like, well, at least it went the right direction. I was like, yeah, I was hoping. I didn't expect anybody to like be liking this dude. But
you have to have people that I mean, in our shows, I legitimately try and mimic what we do in Hollywood, and you need somebody you hate in the group. And that is the toughest thing to
portray.
To be honest, I don't think I have pulled it off. Like, I think I've asked players before to take on that role, and it's really tough. No one wants to do it consistently. But we have had really great tension between players where, because a lot of my panels, by the way, sorry to diverge us a little bit, but a lot of my panels are on how to play a better game, how to, have the twists and turns that you see in a movie that you really love. How are those moments created? Well, I mean, if you're thinking like a story writer, you've got a scene. Give me your latest character you played in D&D.
My latest character is he's a Fey lost character currently that is running from these very gaunt-looking creatures that live almost in like the Appalachian Mountains, and they talk through the voices of the people that they've killed, so you can hear those voices when they're talking. It's terrifying.
So that and I know you got more background in that because we're D&D players, GMs, but we would take something like that and really examine it. So let's say this scene, right? And I don't know about you, but we might have time for 3 encounters in our games the way they go because of the role play and the actual completing.
I get like one, like because I have all of.
I mean, sometimes it's one. I know, legitimately. We're pretty high level in this one campaign we're doing right now, so it's 1.
Yeah. Are you playing 3-4 hour campaigns, like, or are you going like heavy, like 6, 7, 8?
I would love to do the 8 hour. Nobody has time. I'm playing
with like
other
3 sessions would be good. Yeah.
Hollywood people. And I don't like to stop it, and I like everybody to be recharged at the top of it. So it's tough to, anyway. But taking somebody from the beginning of an encounter, and like we do in Hollywood screenwriting, is like you begin here and you end up here as a character, right? And that switch should be a 180. So if you're pissed off, then you're happy. If you're angry, then you're, like if you're being stingy, somehow you're going to spend your money at the end, right? Like there's that evolution, and the next scene begins with another arc, and that's within that arc. And if you say, nobody ever does this in D&D, but I think it's a great idea, is if you said, hey, my character tonight is going to start out super hungry and hangry, right? And eventually I'm going to get a meal, and I'm going to end up being the happiest guy in the group, right? I mean, nobody ever thinks like that for your game session.
Right.
But if everybody brought that in for whatever the device is, for you getting a character arc within each episode, that will add so many more twists and turns. And then it's sort of, they call this thing a Chekhov's gun, where it's like, if Chekhov's got a gun in the scene and it's loaded, eventually he's going to shoot somebody with it, right? So just how can you load your characters up, or how can the DM load the scenes up with enough stuff to be able to continue to do that? So there's a lot of these types of premises that we talk about. And then on top of it, if you're a D&D player, please check out your closest improv group and just get involved, because that stuff will light your games on fire.
Yeah.
Like all those principles, sharing the spotlight, yes ands, all of it will just help you just navigate it with and be cool to everybody else. You know, like everybody's gonna
see.
love
I have the luxury, because not only do we have a improv crew here, we have a D&D improv crew here.
I love that.
So Pushing Dragons is a small. So the Pushing Comedy
Ooh.
Theater is in Norfolk, Virginia, which is about 40 minutes away from where I'm at. And
Wow.
the third Saturday of the month is Pushing Dragons, and this is all of your NPCs, all of your monsters, all of your players, and the game master are all improv actors.
Love it.
And it's nuts. It is so much fun.
They legitimately just play on stage, and
so the GM sits on like a pedestal above the and he tells the story. And then he gives all the NPCs kind of like just story beats real fast, that this is what I need you to do, this is where you're going, that kind of thing. But the 3 players know nothing. And then they have foam dice that they throw in the crowd, that the crowd can throw to roll the dice for the players, and then he rolls for all the monsters and the NPCs up in his little like hovel. But anything that's said on stage, anything that's done on stage is fully in control of that improv actor.
Yeah.
Like the Christmas one shot they just did, Krampus survived and they killed the other guy because everybody liked Krampus. And he like convinced everybody that he was not actually the bad guy, and it was phenomenal. But they've got some serious traction with this. I'm actually working with them to try to get them to a convention or two, just to help them with those connections. So we'll see where that goes.
Rock and roll, man. Well, let me know if I can help. I'm always around. And
Definitely. I'll get you in touch with Sean. He's they're incredible. They have another comedy theater out in Arizona, I think, is their other one. So they have 2. They have one here and one out there. So
takes a lot of guts to have a comedy theater. It's almost like a brewery.
Yeah.
Rough
but
business.
It's great though, because they tell us that their best show right now is their D&D show, and I'm like, it's awesome, because that's what I want to hear. Because
right. Yeah.
But hopefully Sundays they're going to start running D&D there. I'm going to come in and do one shots for them, that kind of thing. So
there's She Slays Beasts. It's a D&D play.
That one's down in Atlanta, right?
Well, it's a play, so a lot of people are doing it, but that's the one that's around LA most frequently.
Okay.
If you're looking to see like theater and D&D involvement.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. I work with the guys who they've got legitimately it's the best show, best improv show I've ever seen. It's called The Show Offs.
The Show Offs. Okay.
They're on BYU Network. They could have sold to ABC as far as I'm concerned. They bring in the Impractical Jokers and Jake Von Wagner, and they've got not Fred Armisen, but they've got a couple other SNL guys that come in.
Okay.
I mean, really freaking sharp. If you're looking for good improv, that's a great place to look. The way they do musicals off the cuff and harmonize while somebody's just making up the lyrics, I'm just like, huh? So yeah. So Adam, a couple of their crew, they want to do something. So I've been looking for something to put them on.
That would be awesome.
And we're supposed to meet later. I kind of want them to invent what they want to do, but just poking around.
No, that sounds awesome. Yeah, no, but that's definitely a good tip. Improv has been such a big thing. I've not had a chance to actually start. Like, they want me to get in a class multiple times, and I'm like, dude, I don't.
Dude, do it.
I have so many other things I'm working right now.
Just trust me, it'll make everything else you do. It just walking through life. People will be like, dude, how'd you get to be so funny, or like, stuff like that. It's like improv,
quick improv class.
Yeah, just keep you on your toes.
They have 3 classes. They have 101, 201, and 301.
Right.
And then they do a D&D workshop improv class, so they add the two mixes together. But
so I've been running the same D&D workshop at McLeod for like 7 or 8 months now, because every other Wednesday I play with different people.
Yeah.
And the every other Wednesday crew, which is a young crew, like, I'm telling you, there were 8 players. Only one of them, Kim, she's a lawyer, was keeping track of the the players. Like, she was keeping track for everybody. I was doing it first. I was just like, dude, you're level 7 bard. I gotta stop telling you what to do. You got to be able to do something more in bardic inspiration. Legitimately, I keep saying that word tonight for some reason, but nobody learned their freaking characters or their powers or ever leveled themselves up. So I just turned in one day. I go, you guys love the role playing. Why don't we just freaking do an improv, show here, workshop here? And I would open up the gate. Some people would come in every week, which, by the way, we had one week when the guests were funnier than all of us, which was great. But that's a wonderful thing to do, is D&D combined with improv. Run those basic things and then start to run a couple of scenes with like NPCs or whatever, just to see where it takes you. It really changes your mind about being at a table.
Yeah, so there's talk though of I'm working on it with them right now, so we might do some live streaming with them as well. So we can get it out to everybody.
One thing for you, an actor, or not actor with you, but dress for quest, but dress for the quest. That's right.
Dress for quest, yeah.
Dress for quest. Like, one thing I've been meaning to do, but I don't think I'm ever going back digital, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, they make a harness, and you could attach a camera to a harness. And legitimately just walk around with it, right?
Okay.
That would, because as a director, my job is to move the actor, the background, or the camera. And on this kind of thing, you're not doing any of that.
Right.
So if you could at least move your camera, I think it would add a lot of production value off the bat. Okay. Even if you're just walking out in the backyard.
Yeah.
Like, if you could figure that out, and they make these things, Hollywood. It's Hollywood something. They make a HDMI wireless receiver and sender, so you could have any camera hooked up to it and have it receiving and sending.
Hey, I've got a couple people that did it. I saw a bunch of those at Gen Con. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
just a couple people that are walking around that had the camera already placed at it, like pointed at them, and they're walking around. And,
So take one step further for your streams.
Yeah.
Just anything like that, something inventive.
So, I mean, that'll be the difference between what normally we're doing. So, Dress to Quest is going to be fully, it'll be fully cosplayed. So, I'll have my Lore Keeper costume on. We'll have a background going, that kind of thing. Lights will be a little better than they are right now. I'm still trying to get my lighting set up properly. And then I'm hopefully going to have a better video so that you can actually see all the details of the costumes. But everybody will be in costume. Everybody will be in character the entire time, pretty much. But yeah, I'm excited. So I'm really excited.
I'm stoked that you're taking it over. I don't know if I knew that. I talk to Eric every once in a while, so it's a nice surprise. To find that you're doing that.
Definitely going to be poking at you throughout the year to be like, hey, how can I upgrade? Like, what should I do? Let's upgrade the quality of that. So
anytime. And if you guys are rolling quick times and stuff like that, like, you can do that with OSB, and I think they do that with open broadcast.
Okay.
We could possibly do a special movie or something to run in there someplace, because that's easy to trigger in OBS. I know you haven't done that, but you could send that to the person running it, and they could just trigger that movie whenever and give you some kind of cool landscape tone.
Right.
Maybe there's a character. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, we for Dress to Quest, we have the entirety. We have a pretty good crew of people from Gen Con that are working with us. So like Tinnell, who's going to do all of our graphics, she's going to do all of our overlays.
I love her graphics. Yeah.
She's incredible, and she's taking all of our characters' photography, and she's putting the extra imagery that you see on like Actor Oki and stuff. So you're gonna see the same types of like special effects looks and stuff. Like, I'm super psyched.
I'm stoked that Peter's doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. So
what else you gonna do? You got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Actor Oki's great, and then on top of it, they shoot that fully. Like, that's game, but it's also part of their own story. Yeah. So, but yeah, So as we wrap it up here for the evening, anything that you would say, like, top 3 tips to level up your game?
Yeah, man, level up your game. Well, digital or in person?
Let's go in person for this one. Let's top 3 tips to upgrade your game in person.
My new one is
your new tool.
My new tool is Fog. Yeah,
Fog.
It's real easy. And if you're a person that can't quite build things or whatever, at home. I mean, this is super simple to do. Just put a little effort in, and
Yeah.
you know, styrofoam, literally it comes by the bulk load to everybody's house, and if it's really kind of thick and crispy, you can build mountains out of that stuff and just paint it. Just, you know, so yeah, don't cheap out on your terrain and the experience on the table. You know, one thing I will say is the miniatures are expensive. You know, but you know, I have a friend that uses pawns. He uses them very effectively. It's a good workaround for that. So that's in person. Number two, you know, work on your improv skills. You know, and that goes for GM, story, everything's character. By the way, if you don't agree with that, think about any movie you say, oh well, Indiana Jones. Yeah, you know, it's about this guy. He's the tomb. You know, like you're always talking about the characters. So make characters that are, you know, I hate to say it, Hollywood worthy off the bat that you love. And I say that because there's only been one character that I didn't really like, and I was talked into playing him in Eldritch Knight. It's 3.5.
Right.
And he just never quite, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the feats or whatever was going on. Like I just couldn't develop him as well. And he was split class, so he was going up half his mount as everybody else. And like, I just didn't like him. And later I found out it's because, you know, I really didn't give him the love that he needed. Like I didn't really know. I knew he was an orphan, but I didn't know where he came from. And I didn't. You didn't really have.
You didn't build out all those questions. Yeah.
And those really help. And if you don't love that character, build something else before you start playing. Like get your character straight, and then think about the ways to arc your character through the night. Have 3 shifts in tone.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. I mean, I'm gonna bring that up. That's one of the ones that I'm gonna bring up at my table, both my home table and the stream table. Is like,
how can your character change 3 ways?
Plan what are you gonna be trying to change in the session? Because that'll definitely bring a different type of environment to the story.
Don't always cast fireball and laugh. You know, like let's make something arc in here.
Yeah,
just to try it out. And then I guess third of all, a real basic thing for me to do is, if you've noticed our productions, our RPG All Stars, you'll notice I always use a lot of colored lights. They are super cheap now. When I started, they were like I'm talking like $200 for one light, like literally. And now you can get them for like $16, you know, or something. So go out and get a couple of cool colored lights. Just give your room some blue pop, or I mean, mine are rotating here, but that gets so much for people, you know, to get them into the groove. And you know, I do use ambience. At one point I had a 6 speaker surround system, and but 2 speakers played the far away ambience, 2 speakers played the local ambience, and 2 speakers played the music.
Oh wow!
So it was legitimately, like, I'd use that word a lot tonight, but it was amazing. Like it was.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Freaking amazing! So, you were just immersed. So any way to help your players do that?
Yeah, no, like I said, and one of the people in the chat right actually said, she's like, I like the idea that short-term goals and long-term goals for your characters, because it's true. You know, build your character to have the arc that they want to have, but at the same time, give them that just experience of what do you want to experience tonight? I mean, that sounds the best way to put it, but like, what do you want to experience this session?
And I hate to say this, if you put this, you put this pressure on yourself, like, you know, it's fun in games, right? For most people. But I like to say, I don't want to create a character I wouldn't see in a movie, like really.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play something that couldn't be a fantasy movie or a TV series.
Yeah.
Like I put that much pressure on what we do. So when you think about it, like, you know, there's 12 execs at the studio, at the production company, there's 12 more. There's 3 batches of writers. The guy created the story. It's like, if you marched your creative, right, as a D&D player through that stream, it would look nothing like the person you're playing or the story you're playing, I guarantee.
Right.
So how can you get all that considered and just move forward with that? It's very powerful stuff.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, I appreciate it. Once again, thanks for coming on the show, the first of the year. Hopefully we'll have some more tips, tricks, different ideas, and sounds, lights, fog. I mean, those are the 3 things I'm picking up tonight. Sounds
like fog, man. Yeah, and story and character.
And story and character. Yeah. But so thanks again. So definitely go check them out. They are RPG All Stars. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Instagram, TikTok, all those cool places.
We have our own website now,
and your own website, which is what I posted on the channel. So, and I'll post that one more time for you.
I don't think anybody goes to that. So if you go to that, you're my Wonderwall. I love you.
There we go. Yeah, definitely. Check it out. Hopefully it just gives you all the other places that you need to go to, right? So we're posting shorts right now, and a lot of those are from Comic-Con and LA or Gen Con, and it's about our talks about how to be a better player and character and all that stuff. So if you are interested in more of that, like it's definitely coming out. So excellent.
Hang with it,
All right. So anything less you want to tell us before we close the tavern down tonight?
Love one another. And if you see me in some kind of a chat on Reddit or Discord or something, please don't call me a spammer. I get that all the time. Like, don't spam your videos around. I'm like, oh God, how else am I supposed to tell people about it?
How else do you tell people, right? We're not.
I mean,
it's either I pay for it or I don't pay for it. I mean, either way.
That's what I was saying about Reddit last year, because I posted some things in the Gen Con before to promote our stuff, right. And everybody's like, "Dude, don't spam." And I was like, "So you want me to pay for it and just interrupt your feed? Because that's the other part of it that you do."
Yeah. No, I don't.
Thanks for looking out for the small guy.
Yep, help out the small guy. Promote your friends, promote your fellow streamers, So keep an eye out on the social medias. Next week we're gonna have a whole new guest, and we're gonna continue to roll. We actually have guests lined up all the way until February right now, so I'm super excited about that.
You have a great system for guests. Yeah, it's really cool.
We're trying. And now that we have the new calendar app and our Discord is being overhauled, thanks to Eric and another one of our wonderful friends, Brina.
Eric.
She is. Those two are going to overhaul our Discord channel. So hopefully this year will be a brand new look, scene, change, and it's all going to work out wonderful. So if you can, come back next week, see a new guest. Have to see exactly what they're bringing to the table. They can
or just overwhelm these guys with hey, request for GM McLeod's again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, get me back.
Yeah, get them back. But yeah, so definitely come check us out if you can, and of course hop over to our Discord so you can find all of our information and all of the community stuff that's happening. Until then, of course, it's time to close the tavern down. This is Last Call. I am your game master, barkeep, host for the evening, and it's been a wonderful time having each and every one of you. Please stick around as we raid somebody and give them a bunch of love. So we'll talk to you guys very soon here on Tavern Talks. Good night.